Happy Self-Care Saturday! How you all doing? It's my goal for the longest while, but I have been logging behind. But I found out that if I talk while I walk, um, it works out very well because I love talking. So last week it worked for me because I walked. I got 20 minutes in. It is said that whatever need weren't met for as a child, we make adaptions for those needs. And also, when we make adaptions, it means that if you didn't get your need met, or whatever need it was met, you find either you tell yourself that I'm not getting it, so I just throw it through the window. I don't need it anymore, and it's okay. You tell yourself that you don't need it, so you avoid that feeling. Whenever you feel like you need whatever the need is, you just throw it to the window. And two, you make adaptions for that need. Hence, persons turn to other things to self-soothe. So when the need is not met, persons might pray, cry, and we get the Lord to love on us, or we love on the Lord to soothe that need of wanting to feel love. Or some persons turn to drugs and alcohol and they become addicts because the need was not met. So they have to make adaptation or adaptions for those needs. Or persons become very angry. We know persons when needs are not met, persons turn to even sexual activity. Why is it that it becomes addictive? It's because it feels a need. And you will look at people and they say, oh, they're crazy, or they're bad because, they're doing things. They're doing things that are not good. But we have to look at, why is it that I am doing this? Why is it that this person is doing this? It's not because they're bad. It's because it might very well mean that there's a need that is unmet and they're crying out for that need to be met. And see some of the things that you didn't get your need. What were some of the needs that you had as a child and they weren't met, and you learned to make adaptation. You didn't get it, so what? And we are grown in an environment, in a society that says, so what? What you gonna do? What are you gonna do? If you didn't get it, there are persons who are worse than you. Why are you crying about who are worse than you are? But then it is a need, and when you have a need, it's not like it's a want. It's a need. And when that need is not met, you are going to find some other way to soothe that need, or you are going to, avoid that need. And even when you avoid that need, it can still come out in another way, right? It comes out in another way, it comes out in defiant behavior. And then persons say that children are rude when they're just seeking attention. The need that they have is just crying out. And perfect example, there's a video that is going around on social media in Jamaica where a little baby boy is crying and being rude, and he's deemed as being rude. But then we don't understand that even as children, they have feelings. Children have feelings. But we were raised in a society, especially from a Caribbean background, that children should be seen and not heard, and children should not cry. Children should not say how they're feeling because they're children. They are not paying any bills. So how should they have feelings? And while they are crying, nobody look at what is the reason why they're crying and help them to soothe. So the little boy is crying. He's a little baby. He's about 4 or 5. And he's upset already. And I am saying, who is helping him to calm down? Nobody. The good book tells us that soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. And in the video, it was just grievous word that was just going at the little boy. And you're expecting him to stop crying and stop it. How? And I'm saying that's a little baby. Nobody took him and said, come baby, it's okay. Rub his back, hug him, give him some juice to drink, distract him from whatever is causing him to feel that way, to find somebody to talk to him. In the video, nobody is helping him to calm down. Nobody is helping him to soothe the need of affection. All he's getting is anger, and persons are telling him how rude he is, and he's gonna be more rude. And then when he's more rude, they're still saying that he is so rude. And I shared it with my husband yesterday, and he said, you know, I didn't even think of it like that. And I said, that's one of the biggest problems we have right now in society. Nobody, for a lot of persons, they weren't taught how to self-soothe healthily. So when the need is not met, persons turn to unhealthy soothing mechanisms, soothing ways of soothing themselves. When your needs are not met, or you're upset, or you feel lonely, or you need a hug, or you need some love, or you need some affection, and the child throws a tantrum, and the child behaves a particular way, and the parent is embarrassed, what the parent does is to get out their own anger too on the child. And nobody's thinking that if I hug this child, would everything just go away? Would the child feel and know that it's okay for you to be angry, but come, let me hug you? Do you want a hug? Does a hug make you feel better? Nobody think of these things. And then we have adults who grow up and become the same thing. The cycle continues. And when children become adults, the cycle continues. Hence, everybody is just so rough and cold, and all we want to do is to give discipline, and nobody wants to give affection and love. I myself, you know, when I look back, as I've asked the question today, the focus question is, what is it that you have not received as a child that when you become an adult, you realize that you're so needing it? One of the ways you can need it, but then you are so afraid that you run away from it. And I didn't know until I started my healing journey, that I've been talking so much about healing journey and emotional healing, was that my need that I needed was emotional, was affection and emotion, that part affection and affectionate emotion. I didn't have that growing up. I know my parents love me. I know they have always provided for me. It was last night I was reflecting. I've never gone to my bed hungry as much. I've always had clothes to wear, had a good house sleeping in. I had food, you know, to always eat. I've never missed a day because I didn't have money to go to school. I've always had that, and I'm always grateful and thankful for that much. But when we have conversations, we realize that they themselves did not get affection from their own parents, so they don't know how to give that part. And growing up as a child, I understood it's my norm, and I accepted it. For all my adult life, I accepted it. When I look back at how I courted, I realized that it even affected how I show affection. But to me, it was normal, because one of the ways is that, as I said, when you don't get it, you want it or you need it, but then you are running away from it because I was afraid to be vulnerable, because vulnerability means that I'm going to be used, I'm going to be hurt, and I'm going to be broken, and I don't want to be or encounter any of those. So I've always run from affection, and I didn't even know that it was a need that I needed. all I know, it was something that I had been running from. And my friend Reverend Francis is here. You know, he's a very affectionate person. And, you know, whenever I always see him, you know, he will greet you or greet me with a hug. And I've always been running, and he's here. He can, you know, can remember. And now he himself will see, you know, where I'm coming from and why that was so. I've always been running away. I've always been pushing them away just to get a hug. And it was after I migrated and I was going through my healing journey, and I was realizing that, Sam, that's what you need. Affection and love. You know, you're a loving person. You're caring at heart. You're giving. You're very sociable. You're very outgoing. All of those things. And I give so much to people because I guess I don't want them to feel like how I felt without even knowing that's what I'm doing. But being a counselor, you know, I've always been in tune to how persons feel, and and I'm ready to give of myself because I just want to help them. I just want them to feel good. And that's good and all. But here goes. I went back to Jamaica after the pandemic in 2021, last year, and I went to surprise my friend at his home. And he came out all bubbly and excited with his affectionate self. And we're going to embrace now because we haven't seen each other for such a long time. And right at that moment, my old self and my new self had a conflict in my mind instantly. You just thought I was shy. Yes, that's a part of it. I was shy too. And my old self and my new self was fighting. In my head, my old self wanted to restrain myself. But then based on my experience now and healing and realizing how much this is not something to run away from. It's not going to hurt you. Not everybody's going to hurt you. It's safe. It's okay. Right there and then I had to talk with myself and wrestle with those two parts of me and allow the new version of me to win. To say, no, Sam, you're not running, you're not thinking anything, you're just going to accept a nice, healthy hug. And instantly I did that. And I am telling you, I came back and I shared with my husband, I shared with my friends how beautiful of an experience it was to get a healthy, wholesome embrace from my friend. And I'm like, to them, like, my God, this was what I've been running from for so long. You know, you people greet you and you embrace them, and I've embraced people, and looking back, I embraced them, but I embraced them so guarded. So guarded, and I didn't even know that I was guarded. I thought it was cool. You're just protecting your space. You did feel the difference. Yes. I came back and I shared with my friend, and they're like, oh my God, I shared with my husband, and he's like, Sam, I tell you, you have grown so much. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow, this was what I'm running from. It's a need. It's always been a need. But I am so scared to accept the need because it's not something that I know. It's not in my known, it's in my unknown. And I'm saying today, you know, that is it. We have to look in ourselves and see what it is that, you know, we need for us to be whole. And for this year, I want to be whole. I want to be emotionally well and stable. And I want to share what I have learned with others. I want to help others to be and become their best self, their best version. You know, for some, their need might be different. You know, for others, their need might be different. Your need might be, you know, you have rejection issues. Your father or your mother didn't stay with you. You don't know where they are, whatever it is. Whatever the need is, but you are afraid, you know, to trust because you have always the persons who, you know, were supposed to help you to enter the world feeling safe. Did not do that. And, you know, we want to make it clear that we ain't blaming nobody. We ain't blaming no one. We ain't blaming our caregivers. We ain't blaming our parents, you know. But we are grateful for what they have done. I am grateful for what my parents have done. I've always been grateful. And I will forever be grateful. But here on, I have to start, you know, finding me, loving on me, giving me the things that I lack. And that's one of the things during my healing journey I found out that, you know, the person that I've been looking for is right here. It's me. The person that I am looking for to give me love and affection is right here. To fill that need. It's right here. And the moment I started finding her, finding my hero that lies within me, that is now open to loving myself much more, understanding myself much more, it shows in my mindset, it shows in my conversation, it shows in how I give love now. Because I now understand the importance, you know, of finding me. Because it comes out in our life. It comes out in our attachment style. Hello, Shelly-Ann. Hello. Derbil. Oliver, how you doing? It comes out, 18, it comes out in how we love. It comes out in just relationships. It comes out in our attachment styles, because when we were grown as a child and our needs are not met, we enter the world sometimes as a question. We enter the world with different attachment styles. Either we are, yes, it must start with me, so true. Starting with the man in the mirror, I'm asking him to change his ways. It has to start from there. So it comes in our attachment styles, and you find that persons get married, persons find friends wherever you go. You go to work, you go to school, you're going to meet people, you have to interact with people. And that is why you find that it's so hard and difficult for persons to come together and work together, because their needs weren't met as children, and now they enter the world, you know, being anxious, being avoidant. You know, those are the attachment styles that they have. And they enter relationships, into marriages, you know, not being secure, being very anxious, and being very avoidant. Because if you were raised, hey Samoya, if you were raised in an environment where your emotional needs are not met, your emotional needs should not be talked about. Hey Sandra, your emotional needs are not talked about, then when you grow up, how are you going to know how to deal with your children? You're going to continue the cycle of allowing them to not talk about their emotions. And that's another thing that I want to help persons to do, is not to suppress those emotions. Because those emotions, you know, when they are suppressed, they turn into chronic illnesses. And that is why we have so many persons who are now suffering from chronic illnesses. And I can give you a whole lecture on that too. But I want to go back to the attachment style that we enter the world with. So we enter the world, you know, not being secure, not having a secure attachment. And even for myself, I can share, you know, that I didn't even know. As I said, I courted very guarded. Even though I know I wanted to get married, I wanted love. You know, it was like I am there, but I am still so guarded as a defense mechanism, because, you know, I don't truly know what it is. I don't truly know what I want. And I am giving all that I can give, but there's just that. I don't even know the word to put it. But I guess the thought that I can put it in is that when that happens and you have that need, you enter your relationship thinking, or your marriage thinking, that your marriage is supposed to fulfill your life. So, hey, I'm going to get married. This person is supposed to make me feel fulfilled. When you yourself don't feel fulfilled, you don't know what fulfillment feels like. Barriers, yes. You don't know what it feels like. You don't know what it means. So you are thinking that, hey, this person is supposed to figure it out. This person is supposed to make me whole and feel whole, because that's what love is supposed to do. But then you have so much barrier, so much issues, so much, unhealed wounds, so much things that you don't talk about, so much communication issues, so much enabling, so much codependency, so much low self-esteem, so much things. And then you're expecting that somebody is going to figure you out and somebody is going to make you feel whole. And when that does not happen, people become disappointed, and then you realize that marriages don't work because persons went in with an unrealistic expectation and the expectation is not being met. But I suggest, and I can tell you based on my own experience, that what you want to do is to find you, so that you don't feel as though your marriage should be completing you, but what it is doing is complementing you. So here go, two persons are coming together, and now we're going to find out. You have found yourself. I am becoming, I am evolving, I am exploring, I am becoming my best version, and the other individual is becoming, they're evolving, they're finding themselves, and then both of us are going to identify what strengths, what weaknesses we both have, and how your strength is going to complement mine. How you, when I'm weak, you're going to be strong at this area because you are good at that and I am not good at this. You are going to do here because you do well here and I don't do well here. And we can have that communication and we can feel okay. And nobody has to feel like I'm overriding this one. And this one is becoming, and this one don't want me to fulfill my dream. And this one is fulfilling their dream. And all of that, it helps to clear up all of that. And help with the barrier and breaking all those barriers. And start to becoming your best self. So, that is really it. So we want to dig deep. We want to find what are some of the things that the needs that we have. Over the years, we make adaptions for them. That's how addictions were formed. That's how, an avoidant behavior has started. We find persons that are so cold, they can't communicate, they can't share their feelings because what? They don't know how to. Right? But if it is just today, is the first time you're hearing this, congratulations, it's okay. Once you hear it, and you say to yourself, what Samantha is saying to me this morning sounds like something that makes sense and sensible, and I'm going to try it. Very, very good. You don't have to beat up on yourself. You don't have to be sad. You don't have to be angry. You don't have to be upset. You don't have to feel any way, that you didn't know before. But now you know, and now you're going to work on it. Question is, who or what, make you come alive? What is it or who is it in your life that makes you come alive? What is your why? What is your reason for living? What's your reason for getting up out of bed every day, every morning? What's your reason for keep on going on? Because I realize that that's one of the things. When you enter the world as a question, when you weren't validated, when you weren't affirmed, you enter the world not knowing who you are. And every now and then, every one of us needs somebody to affirm us. Every one of us needs somebody to encourage us. Every one of us needs somebody to encourage us. and to give us that affirmation. But as I said before, we have to learn to affirm ourselves, because if we find that we wait on others to do it, oh my God, if we wait on others to do it, whoo, you're going to be disappointed, you're going to be upset, and your need is not going to be met, and you're going to be fighting and waiting for the rest of your life. So the best thing you can do is to find you of me becoming my best self. That's my drive right now. I think when I explore that thought, maybe before now it would have been somebody or something, but now it's the hope that I have of becoming my best self. The hope that I have a big destiny. The hope that my purpose is huge. That's what keeps me going, and that's what is driving me right now. That I want to see, what is it that God really have in store for me? I want to see it. And when I look back at my very, very early stages of life, that was my hope. That was my reason to keep going. And I'm like, wow. Because when I look back, my favorite scripture has always been, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things are going to be added unto you. And every moment when I felt as though, oh my God, this test, I didn't expect this one. This trial, I didn't expect this one. But then when I think of, oh my God, giving up now, and what if I'm just this close to seeing what my destiny is going to be like, to see what my purpose is really going to be like, I'm like, no. I'm going to push. Like what I'm doing right now. No. I want to see what is going to be. I want to push some more because I want to. And that hope helps me to understand that the hope of me becoming my best self, it means that I will be giving everybody that I encounter the best version of me. So I will be giving my daughter the best version of me. Hopefully when I have my son, I'm going to be giving my son the best version of me. I'm going to be giving my husband the best version of me. I'm going to be giving my family the best version of me, my friends, my co-worker, everybody. So that's the hope that's driving me right now. That hope of becoming my best self, of seeing and experiencing my big destiny and my big purpose. What is it for you? What is it that is driving you? Type it in the chat so I can read it, so that I can see what it is that you're hoping, what it is that is keeping you going, what is keeping you alive, all of these things. Oh, you see, I've been walking for 33 minutes because I